The Raptors need to trade for a center. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Raps Report. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, and I hope you're all doing well. In today's show, we're going to be talking about the Raptors' clear void, and that is a lack of a center. And I'm actually going to be taking a look at some options the Raptors could take in terms of trading for a center. And these options are going to be realistic options. No, I don't have, the Raptors trading for Rudy Gobert in today's show or Jokic. So we are going to get to that. But before we get into the show, just going to go over some notes at the top here. And so I was looking at my analytics, guys, and I realized that 52% are not subscribed. And that is actually a high percentage. So I just want to make sure that if you are watching this, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. A lot of the times you'll be watching a YouTuber and you'll realize, oh, darn, I'm not even subscribed to this person. It does help a lot. The likes, subscribing, whatever you can do helps the channel. So, if you're watching this and you're a longtime viewer of mine and you don't happen to be subscribed, please make sure you're subscribed. I'm coming out with free content every single day, whether it's a video or a live stream. So all I ask is that, you help me continue to grow this great community that we're all a part of right now. Also, I am still offering memberships. If you want to become a member to help support this channel on a monthly basis, you can do that. I'm currently offering All-Star and Superstar channel memberships. You get custom perks and emojis for videos and live streams. So, again, if you're able to, you could join as a channel member, and that would be greatly appreciated. And lastly, I do upload the audio portion of these podcasts to podcast platforms out there. So this podcast, Raps Report, is on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on Anchor. So FYI, just for those people who do enjoy the audio part of these shows and who don't get to watch the videos, you can listen to the audio on those platforms. So check it out everywhere you get your podcast, and make sure you leave me a nice 5-star review. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Aaron Baynes, the Raptors' lack of a center, and we saw in that Raptors game against the Celtics more issues to talk about. And I mean, you talk about the Raptors being out-rebounded. They were out-rebounded on the offensive glass, 14-3, and on the defensive glass, 35-29. And the Raptors actually did roll out Aaron Baynes late in the fourth quarter when they had a chance to make a comeback. And after his impressive highlight dunk, to which I stood up and applauded him during my live stream, Baynes followed that up with 2 huge misses underneath the basket. Very makeable shots, makeable layups. And I mean, if your center can't finish a pick and roll screen with Kyle Lowry, one of the best passers in the game, you got a problem. So I look at it like this. Yes, the Raptors can get away with not having a center for now, which they have been. And once OG Anunoby returns from injury, you could roll out a small ball lineup. It's worked. It can work, but how far will that take you? It could work now in the regular season. You can rack up a lot of wins, but in the playoffs, when you go up against the Boston Celtics or the Philadelphia 76ers or the Milwaukee Bucks, teams that have big bodies on their team, the Raptors are going to get pulverized. So if the Raptors want to make a realistic run and be viewed as a legitimate playoff team, they're going to have to go out and get a center who is able to get a board, who is able to box out his defender, who is able to block a couple of shots, and who is able to provide some value offensively. Because every time Aaron Baynes is out there, the offense of the Raptors seems to go stagnant because nobody on the opposing team is scheming or is even paying attention to Aaron Baynes offensively. So then that in turn creates all this focus to the other Raptors, and that's why a lot of the times you see the Raptors going on scoring droughts every time Aaron Baynes is out there. And then that forces Nick Nurse to send out Chris Boucher as quickly as he can. And now for those of you saying, why don't the Raptors just start Chris Boucher? Chris Boucher isn't a true starting center. He is perfect in his role right now, so don't fix what isn't broken. So, with that being said, I thought I would go digging and take a look at some realistic trade options here for the Toronto Raptors, as they could still trade for a center before the NBA trade deadline. Because if they don't, you know Aaron Baynes slander is coming in the playoffs, and it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be worse than it is already. So the first option we're going to look at here is actually revisiting the Andre Drummond trade option and trade rumor that came out at the beginning of the week. Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer reported that the Raptors are one of many teams interested in Andre Drummond, and I did a specific video on that. And I said in that video, and I'll say again now, I would not be interested in trading Kyle Lowry for Andre Drummond. Of course, that would work because both of those players are making the same type of money, so that would be an easy trade. So I would not be okay with that, but I did do some digging, and I did realize that the Raptors could actually trade for Drummond without involving Kyle Lowry. Now, the whole question would be, would the Cavaliers do this? You be the judge. So, to make a trade for Drummond work, the Raptors could hypothetically send Norman Powell, Aaron Baynes, Patrick McCaw, and Stanley Johnson. And then the Cavaliers in return would send over Drummond and some filler pieces. So that actually works. But again, would the Cavaliers do that? And will the Raptors want to part ways with Norman Powell? But here's the thing about Norman Powell and the argument to trading Norman Powell now. His stock will never be higher than it is now. And do the Raptors realistically view Norman Powell as a future starter of this team? If they don't, it would be in the team's best interest to trade Powell right now because we know he's inconsistent from off the bench. So if that's where the Raptors view Norman Powell and his role on this team moving forward, then you could explore trade options with a guy who has exploded his trade stock over the last couple of weeks. Let's move on to another trade option here. And this is actually involving the Sacramento Kings and sticking with the theme of trading Norman Powell. The Kings have Marvin Bagley, and he is reportedly unhappy there in Sacramento. And, I think it was his mom or his dad who said, get my son out of Sacramento. Marvin Bagley still has some potential, and that is a guy who I think would be a good fit with the Raptors. Now, to get Marvin Bagley, the Raptors would have to trade Norman Powell. I think that's the only way that gets done. Now, for those of you saying, I do not want to trade Norman Powell, that is fair. He's been playing great. So, here's another option the Raptors could trade for. And he, too, plays for the Sacramento Kings. And he, too, is a center who could start. And that is Hassan Whiteside. And I'm actually very interested in Hassan Whiteside trade. And I'm very, inclined to this. So I was looking at it. I think to get Whiteside on over to the Raptors, it would only take a Terrence Davis to get done. And that actually works 1-for-1. Now, obviously, there could be other parts involved, picks involved, but if the Raptors did want to get Whiteside, Terrence Davis could be all it takes to get that trade done. So that's another one I'm in favor of. And then the last trade we're going to look at here, guys, involves Mo Bamba of the Orlando Magic. And you look at Mo Bamba, he still has tremendous upside and potential. But it looks like the Orlando Magic have given up on him. So could the Raptors go after Mo Bamba? And if they do, what would it take to get Mo Bamba? Now, in a perfect world, could the Raptors get away with just giving up a Terrence Davis and Stanley Johnson to get Mo Bamba? Probably not. So Norm would probably have to be included in this trade again to get Mo Bamba. So those are a couple options here who I could see being a good fit on the Toronto Raptors. Andre Drummond, I gave you an option where the Raptors wouldn't have to trade Kyle Lowry. Marvin Bagley or Whiteside on the Kings. I think the Kings, it'd be in their best interest to trade one or the other. And then finally, Mo Bamba of the Magic. That's probably the most least likely of these trade options that I've given you, but all of these options I think would be great fits for the Toronto Raptors and would solve some of their problems in their front court. So we'll see what happens. What do you think of these potential trades? And if you want to suggest a trade, let me know in the comment section down below that involves the Raptors getting a center, because this team needs to address this issue. And if they don't, we're going to be talking about the same issues later on in the season and then into the playoffs. So that's my take on this, guys. The Raptors need a center, point blank. It's as simple as that. So we will see what happens as the NBA trade deadline looms large. We'll see if Masai Ujiri and company strike a deal or not. Please like this video if you haven't already, and please, once again, make sure you're subscribed. let's get these, let's get that number higher than what it is of, people consuming my content who are subscribed versus who aren't subscribed. And make sure you follow me on social media, guys, to keep the conversation rolling. That's Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And my next live stream will be on Sunday when the Raptors take on the Timberwolves. So the Raptors finally end the road trip, 4-2 record. I'll take it. But now the Raptors have a pretty intriguing week ahead. So you got to take care of business against the worst team in basketball before you take on the Bucks a couple of times and the Sixers a couple of times. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll have a video up tomorrow. Who knows? I've been on a streak where I've been posting every day. So stay tuned. Make sure you ring that bell to stay up to date on the latest from this channel. That's it for me, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Until next time, be great and stay blessed. Peace.